Corolla. Chasing them hard were Jackie Joubert and Willy van Straten in the Jojo Tanks Toyota Corolla. The two were separated by just a few seconds, but it would turn to disaster for Joubert when he rolled on stage 6 after the wheel studs sheared off a front wheel at high speed. Visagie had recovered some time from Wilkin on stages 2, 3 and 4. He was now just 25 seconds behind.
Etienne, you won this event last year, all happy, and you seem to be battling this year.
Yeah, I'm not even remotely close to first overall. We're battling with power. It runs out of revs at 8,000 and just doesn't want to go through the gear. So I don't know what the problem is. We've looked at the mapping now, we've looked at fuel pressures, all kind of things. So I don't know what the story is. We went to test it yesterday and I told them there's something wrong, but we can't seem to pinpoint the problem.
Enzo, things not looking too bad for you today. Seem to be leading by a narrow margin. Tell us a bit more. Any problems?
Very narrow margin, 4 seconds in it. So we've been just trying as hard as we can. We lost the brakes 2 stages ago on the downhill for about 6 k's from the end of the stage. So that was very hairy, and we lost some time in that stage. The rest of the stage has been going well. And just trying to focus, hard concentration. These stages well, they're very fast, but you've got to focus on it. And the challenging part in the last stage was that the center of the road was very high. So as you come into the corner under braking, some guard hits the center of the road and you lose authority over the steering over the car, and it's really hairy because you're bouncing, and then there's like a delayed action before you can apply the brakes again. So that was quite challenging, and it's a fast bit towards the end. But I mean, these are beautiful roads, make no mistake. They're stunning and lovely to drive.
Guy, there are only 2 rallies in the season with pace notes. Your opinion of pace notes and how they're going today, and give us a bit of a rundown on it.
My opinion on pace notes, they have their place in rallying. Of course they do. We're using public roads on this rally, so to make it even, we're all allowed to have a look at the road yesterday and make our own pace notes. On roads such as these, without doubt, pace notes make it a lot quicker, but also a lot safer. So that's very good news. Very fast rally today. We're fully committed. We're leading by 3 or 4 seconds. 3 long stages to go, and we're going to give it a major crack today.
Cliff, 5th overall, you're having a fantastic rally.
Yes, Ian. All seems to be behaving for a change.
Yeah, Carl behaving, and you're obviously pedaling well. Must be that Red Bull you were drinking this morning.
That and the pace nuts. You can't get better than pace nuts. Yeah.
You're obviously a fan of pace nuts, so you think that helps you guys, definitely.
Yeah, and you cannot believe what it's like going over a blind rise, knowing the angle of the corner the other side. The safety side of it is just magnificent. You can drive on the pace, really.
And these roads, the flow nature of them obviously suits the rear-wheel drive BMW.
Yeah, I think the weight of the car, the size, the momentum, yeah, fantastic really for rear-wheel drive. Yeah.
The extra weight you're carrying compared to the other 8 cars, 110 kilos or so, are you finding it a battle with the high speeds to stop the car?
Yeah, and it is. It's very dusty and dry. So we lose probably a second on braking because we're trying to stop an extra weight, and the acceleration. And we're running harder tyres than normal because of the rocky conditions and the weight of the car. So we're battling a bit with traction, but yeah, it seems to be working. Yeah.
Well, 4 down, 4 to go. Good luck for the rest of them.
Thanks very much.
In last year's event, Berger had enjoyed an almighty scrap with Fernando Rueda that ranged for the entire distance. The two traded fastest times on every stage, with a gap at the end of the event a narrow 2 seconds. Berger's slow start this time around allowed Grobelaar to take an early production car lead in his Subaru. After 4 stages, he was 21 seconds ahead of Berger, but he then struck electrical problems that affected the fuel pump and dropped him to the back of the field. With Gemmel not taking the start, Grobelaar's misfortune gave Berger some breathing room, as none of the other Class N4 cars were close enough to challenge him. Competition in Class N4 was fierce in 2003. Berger was forced to work hard for his title as Rueda challenged him for the honours, but the latter's withdrawal from the series earlier this year on medical advice had robbed the class of a fierce competitor. Gemmel started the season as a serious threat, but the combination of a few mechanical problems and his big accident on the Total Rally brought his title hopes to an end. He has not fully got to grips with the Mitsubishi, perhaps still as a result of the after effects of his accident. His withdrawal from this event was yet another blow to the spectacle of the class. Stage 6 was the longest of the rally at a shade over 40 kilometers. Despite remapping the engine at the service halt, Lawrence's Toyota would still not rev as it should. He resigned himself to just scoring as many points as he could, and fourth overall was a good effort. This is rumored to be Burger's final year of rallying. The Pretoria-based businessman has been involved in the sport since the early 1970s, and having won 6 South African class titles and the FIA African Rally Championship, the veteran has not much left to prove. Habich's chances of taking victory received a setback on stage 5 when the Golf suffered a puncture near the end of the stage. It resulted in a broken lower control arm as he exited the stage, causing him to spin the car. Then on stage 6, the loose bonnet was a distraction and acted as an air brake to slow him still further. He lost 31 seconds in the 2 stages. Damzo's chances took a blow when his bonnet catches were also left loose at the start of stage 5. He was forced to stop and fasten them down when the bonnet flew open, costing him 40 seconds and any chance of winning the rally. Kuhn had won both stages 5 and 6 to open up a 34-second lead to teammate Jan Habich. With 2 stages to go, it was a comfortable enough margin for him to win the rally, barring any last-minute mechanical problems. He had never won the mountain trial and was keen to add it to his tally of victories. A victory here would also give him a mathematical chance of still being able to challenge for the title should any of his rivals suffer more misfortune in the coming events. Fecken was reveling in his Polo's reliability and was comfortably ahead in class after rival Damzo Jr. suffered gearbox problems that dropped him well down the field. Wilken was now well ahead in class and was resisting any temptation to take on cars from faster classes. He desperately needed a finish. Joubert's demise saw Trott holding a huge Class A6 lead. The result would put him back at the head of the class championship. Versace's Runx had developed oil pressure problems in stage 5, forcing him to ease off the pace in an effort to get the car to the finish. The championship fight with Wilken was too close for comfort, and every point was vital. Mally Saville and Dean Redlinghuis were headed for their best ever national result in their auto services Subaru. Chris de Wit and Patrick Yende extended their narrow Class N2 championship lead with victory in their team total Toyota Corolla. Alan Worms and Kieran Noonan were victorious in Class A5 in their lesson engineering Toyota Taz after Guga Zulu and Llewellyn Fourie broke a drive shaft in the final stage in their Sasol Volkswagen Chico. Despite the Toyota's engine problem, Lawrence brought his car home in 4th position overall, thereby maintaining his perfect finishing record for the year. It was frustrating for him to not be able to challenge for the win after his good showing on the event last year, but he was relatively content with a solid points haul. He had finished all 6 events in the top 5 and was still holding 3rd overall in the championship, just 19 points behind the leader. This was Burger's worst overall result of the year, but he was not complaining. 7th place was not what he had become accustomed to in recent years, but he scored maximum points in the production car category to extend his championship lead to 27 points. He also maintained his 4th place in the overall point standings. So it was a case of mission accomplished in this instance, but he will no doubt be back challenging the leaders in the next round of the series in the Cape. Habich won the final stage and was relatively happy with 2nd position as it kept him in the lead of the championship. Damzo won stage 7 with an average speed of 130.3 kilometers an hour, but had to settle for 3rd place overall. Kuhn suffered a scare in stage 7 when the Golf hit a rock in the road, and the crew thought it had suffered serious damage. It destroyed the rim, but the tire did not puncture, and there was no time loss. After all the frustration of the year that left him with 2 3rd place finishes as his best results, Kuhn was chuffed to notch up his first win of the year. His championship chances are extremely slim, but with the Golfs now matching Damzo's Runx for pace and reliability, the last 2 events could produce some interesting team tactics from the Volkswagen squad in an effort to assist Habich's title charge. Kuhn was visibly delighted with his victory, his first since the final event of last year. After 200 kilometers of action, Kuhn's victory margin was just 23 seconds. Fecken was relieved to score the Polo's first finish, while Blackman was ecstatic to take 6th after holding 5th for much of the rally. Avech extended his points lead to 6, but he still has to drop the result of one event.
Jeff, 2 golfs at the head of the field, ahead of the Toyota of Serge Damso. A little bit of surprise, perhaps.
Yes,
First time since